What is up, bros, and welcome to the All Bros podcast. I am Jonathan.
Nah, I'm Caleb.
And we are joined by a special guest this episode. We are joined by Beth from the Untrained Eye. Beth, would you like to introduce yourself, even though I just did already?
No, I kind of hate that. You're like, let me just stand up and say my name and talk about myself. Just kidding. I mean, I really do hate that, but since you already said who I was, I'm going to let that stand.
Okay. That works for us.
This episode's going to be great.
Yep.
Good times.
So, like I said, we got Beth from the Untrained Eye on this episode. But Caleb and I are a couple of aspiring filmmakers that love to watch and critique movies, but also enjoy a bit of the nerd life. This week on the podcast, we'll be skipping over Funko Focus because there really is nothing to talk about, or at least that we're interested in. In 4K Spotlight, we have a new DC movie coming out, one that was very long awaited and did not disappoint for most people, I feel. And then for news, going back from what Caleb did last week, because he was such a trooper, we'll be talking about what he saved for this week's episode. And then after that, we'll move on to our All Bros headliner. It's headliner, right?
Are you shitting me?
I'll
You
never
disappear for a
remember
week
this.
and you forget what we call our episode.
I do, I'm sorry. It's headliner, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're moving on to our All Bros headliner of the evening, which will be the All Bros and Untrained Eyes breakdown of the Netflix original film, The Willoughbys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you say we get started, you two?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Every day, we're surrounded by media. Books, movies, art, music, games, apps, podcasts, etc., etc. With this constant bombardment, it's easy to miss great media gems in the chaos. But fret not, you've come to the right place, my friend. I'm Jason, and I love media. I invite you to check out the Mixed Media Forest podcast, the podcast where I trudge through the forests of media to find hidden gems for you, the listener. Every episode of Mixed Media Forest is chock full of fun, reviews, nostalgia, positivity, news, rants, stories, and recommendations about all things media. Again, that's the Mixed Media Forest podcast, created on Anchor Podcasting app and available everywhere fine podcasts can be found. Give it a listen. It's what all the cool kids are doing.
Am I supposed to start talking now? My bad.
No, you're good.
Like, I
works.
wasn't watching the signals. I'm so sorry. Like, they're just waiting. I don't know. All right, unprofessional.
Oh my gosh.
I mostly just...
Unless you can't contain yourself about what you want to talk about. With the
I just can't wait to start talking about the Willoughbys.
Oh, shit.
You're good to go, Rose.
Okay. So, skipping over Funko Focus, because like I said, nothing. But for 4K Spotlight, the HBO Max original film, Zack Snyder's Justice League, is coming to 4K and Blu-ray this week. And it will be getting the regular 4K release, Blu-ray release, a kind of triple feature that includes Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. And then for exclusive-wise, it's only getting a Best Buy Steelbook. Do I already have that on pre-order? Yes, I do.
Nice. Have you seen this Justice League? Like the real one?
Yeah,
Real
we
one?
saw it when it... Yeah, we saw it when it originally came out. And then we tried to watch the Snyder cut and then did not finish it. Didn't even get halfway.
Really?
Long movie.
Yeah, it was a very long movie. And I wasn't a huge fan of the original one. And so just adding more stuff to it, I was like, I don't know.
It kind of does feel like that. Like they're just kind of throwing in the new stuff. But it is a lot more footage that Zack Snyder threw in. And you can definitely feel the difference in the tones.
Really?
But yeah, especially near the end. But you kind of have to make it through all of the shit that we saw with the Joss Whedon version.
Right. So you think it's worth it to sit through it?
I think
I
it is.
feel it is, considering they split it up into parts, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. Well, how they were originally going to release it, they were going to release... it was going to be like a mini series, so like 6-episode mini series, or however many chapters they said it had. I think it was 6, but yeah, they were going to have those released in individual parts, and then at the end of that 6 weeks, when everything was released, they were going to release like the supercut, where it's like the full 4 hours. So it wasn't originally supposed to be a full 4-hour film. It was supposed to be broken up into parts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not opposed to a 4-hour film, but I just wasn't a fan of it. Even if someone else is like changing it around and adding things, I'm not a big fan of Ben Affleck as Batman. Like, I don't know. DC movies just aren't hitting for me. Like, the TV shows, I'm all in for it, but the movies, not so much.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I definitely understand that. It's kind of a tougher sell, especially with how often DC's let us down.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've gotten slowly better. Like they did, like really good with Shazam.
Oh yeah.
Let us down. I mean, I think they like boosted up with Aquaman. Like Aquaman was just so much better than any other DC film we'd gotten to that point, not including Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I will say I did like Wonder Woman, but we haven't seen Aquaman yet. Like, it's sitting there waiting for us, but...
It's good. Like,
is it?
Yeah, I'd say it's maybe slightly worse than Shazam.
Okay. I did like Shazam. I thought that was pretty good. Like, have you guys seen the Doom Patrol? It's on HBO.
Yes.
So good.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Have you watched all the seasons, or are you like still catching up?
We're still catching up. Like, I think we might be like, I don't know, middle of season 2.
Oh,
So
that's awesome. And
yeah.
I think now is like a perfect time to start doing that, because season 3 is getting released soon-ish, I think.
Oh, good.
And it wasn't originally, or season 2 wasn't originally supposed to end how it ended. So it kind of, I think the first 2 episodes they said are supposed to be how season 2 was supposed to end.
Okay. Like, did they change it because of like COVID or?
Yeah, COVID happened, and then they had to cut filming short, and then they couldn't make that one extra episode that they needed. I think it was like 1 or 2 extra episodes that they needed, so they're just like, all right, screw it. That's just going to be a cliffhanger until season 3.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, that's a really good show just because it's so out there, but it's also like really funny just because of how like pissed off the robot guy gets. Cliff.
Oh my gosh, I freaking love Cliff.
Yeah.
This
like,
is
and
like
I look
DC's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Like, I love how he looks too. How he's like, I don't know. He looks like he would be in a rock band with his clothes, but he's just a robot.
Yeah, exactly. Such a good show. And I love how it's not super like action packed. It's just like a real deep dive on the characters.
Right. Yeah. And like that little girl that's like, what, I don't remember his name. The one that's like, looks like a little werewolf or something.
Oh, Dorothy.
Dorothy. Like, that's not really a little girl. Like the actress is like 20.
What?
Yeah, because I was like, I wonder if that's really a little girl. Like she's like hamming it up like over the top, and so we Googled it, and it's not.
Holy shit!
Yeah, she's just a small person.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Is she just like one of the little people that's like all proportionate?
I guess like if you like after we found that, I was like out. I'm like, she's supposed to be what, like 8 or 10 or something.
In the
And,
show,
like,
she's like a
yeah.
couple 100 years old.
But isn't she supposed to still be like a child though, even though she's that age?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she's got boobs. So-
That just got
So-
uncomfortable.
Sorry. But next time you watch it, you'll be like, that is not a child.
I haven't even seen the show, and I don't know if I want to now, knowing that.
Well, it's not creepy. Like,
No, I know it's not. Now that I know.
Okay, sorry, Rose. I didn't mean to ruin it for you.
It's okay. It's okay.
She's supposed to be like 100 something years old, like you said. It's not really a child.
Yeah. But
So,
honestly, that's not even the weird. Like, even knowing that, that's still not the weirdest thing in that show.
right.
Like, there is a like a sentient street.
Yeah. Like, who came up with that idea? Or I love Flex.
Oh my gosh. Oh my, he is so cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I feel like the shows for DC are like way better. Like I don't know if maybe they just aren't good at like condensing the stories down to a 2-hour movie rather than like dragging it out across seasons, because they're better at storytelling like that, I think, than their movies.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I watch like an episode of The Flash during lunch.
Yeah,
And-
I love The Flash.
Yeah, it's super good. Like there's some season, like there was one season that just bugged the shit out of me. Have you watched all the Flash?
We were watching it in like on Netflix until they came out with Batwoman. And then they had one of those crossover episodes, like where it's all 4 of the shows that cross over together.
Right.
And we couldn't watch that one yet. So we were like, well, wait until we can watch it. And then we never started watching it again. So we're not up to date.
Okay.
And now is it Batwoman? Or Batgirl? Or
Batwoman.
Batwoman, okay.
Yeah.
Like I saw that that's on HBO Max, so we could start watching it.
Yeah. But yeah, so okay, if you're on the one after Batwoman or the crossover after Batwoman came out, so you know with the Flash, the villain Cicada,
Yeah.
I hate him.
Yeah.
The dude's voice is so freaking stupid.
Who is that? Wasn't he the guy from American Pie?
That's what I thought too. And it's not.
It's not him?
It's not him, but I was
Are
on
you
this,
sure?
I swear to you it is not. I looked it up. I'm like, there's no way that's not him. It is not.
Yeah. I thought it was.
I'll double check. I'll double check just because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, like I thought it was. But like his character was kind of annoying. And
Let's see.
I thought he was kind of scary.
Oh shit! Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Lion?
I know.
What's his real name?
Chris Klein.
Klein, okay.
Yeah, he was in American Pie. My bad.
It's all good. Like, I don't think he's done much since that anyway. Like, it seemed like he was a rising star and then he was Cicada.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was, he kind of had a really long span of just doing, like, one-offs.
Like, there's
yeah,
Go
different
ahead.
yeah, just doing like random shows. I did voice acting for Disney back in 2012.
That's funny.
And then yeah, he did The Flash for the 2018 to 2019, and then he's in Sweet Magnolias, which is on Netflix, I think.
Okay. Oh yeah, I watched that. It was pretty cute, like a little country town show. But he's a jerk. Like he cheated on his wife and got his mistress pregnant. And then he left his wife and his kids.
That
So,
tracks. He has a super douchey looking face.
yeah. Like there's a movie that he was in, like I think it was right after American Pie, and it's kind of like one of those like movies like where it's kind of spoofy but not really, but like everything is like super vulgar and like it's that kind of humor. I can't think of what the movie's called. But like me and my sister used to joke around about it all the time because like he's I think eating dinner with his family or his family or his girlfriend's family. I don't know. Anyway, some girl is sitting at the table and their parent corrects them and she's like, I did this because I didn't like that. And I got these because I hate you. And then she like rips her shirt open. She has these like big cherubs hanging from her nipples. And we like me and my sister used to joke around about like like just saying that to our parents. So yeah.
So
we never did.
Let's see. Was it Say It Isn't So?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's like one movie that he did shortly after American Pie. The other one they said it was like a romantic drama, but so,
Okay.
yeah, that was the one like shortly after American Pie. That is hilarious, and I have not seen that movie, and I'm going to now.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So
yeah, but his acting in The Flash is just so bad.
yeah, like I thought the first season was really good. He was the bad guy Zoom?
Yeah,
Yeah, really like phasing with his hand.
yeah,
And like the Flash is learning all that stuff.
Yeah, like that stuff was super cool. The only thing that pissed me off about those seasons was his emblem was red instead of like the white background, like how it is now.
Oh, okay. Like, is that like representative of the comic books, or like is it supposed to be white, or?
Yeah, like that's how his symbol's always been. It's always been like the gold lightning bolt and like the circle, and then it's always had like a white background, and then it's on his red suit. And for the show, they're just like, oh, we didn't want to go super comic accurate, and then everyone got pissed off, and they're like, okay, whatever, I guess we'll make it white.
Yeah.
Like, it just looks so much better.
Right. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry, I have strong
It's
feelings about
okay.
his suit.
No, it was like who was the guy that works in the lab? His last name is Ramon.
Oh, Cisco?
Cisco. Like he's one of my favorite characters. Like I think there's a scene where he's like fighting a bad guy or something and he's like saying Harry Potter spells.
Yep.
I love that.
Oh my gosh. So good. I think it's super funny. After that whole crossover episode, they kind of just merge all the universes together.
Yeah, I always think that's really cool.
Yeah, and so he's super confused because for him this is like a completely new world, and he like throws a big old fit about how this happened. It's like throwing him off, and he's just like I never owned one of these, and it was like a Superman shirt.
Oh, okay.
And he's just like, what is this?
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious because they were just going around like making people remember what the original worlds.
Oh, okay.
And so,
okay.
yeah, and then he's like looking down. He's like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah. Like another thing I think is really cool is how they always have the bad guy from the first season. I don't know why my memory is just crap. Like I'm like, let me just explain who the person is. I cannot remember their name. I think his name is Harrison.
Harrison Wells.
Yeah, Dr. Wells. Like how they have different versions of him that come through the portal.
Those can get annoying.
Yeah, I agree.
Like French Wells bugged, like Sherlock. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I wanted to forget.
But sometimes when they're, I don't know, I always like jerk characters. So sometimes whenever he's like mean, I'm like, I like him.
Yeah. But just like, yeah, all of those shows are super good. Like after I finish Flash, I think I'm going to catch up on Supergirl, make my way over to Arrow, and then get to DC or the Legends of Tomorrow because that's like my favorite out of the 4.
Really?
Yeah. Surprisingly, like I feel like that one's the most cheesy of them all, but I like that.
Yeah.
I like how like the characters that they can throw into that without.
Well, and they're all from the different shows. Like the one sister from Arrow. Like, was it the Black Siren? I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah,
The one,
she was
the Black Canary.
Yeah, and then she became White Canary.
Okay.
Then they had Ray Palmer, who became the Atom.
Oh, right. Yep. What? Yeah, he was from the Arrow or Arrow too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had a bunch from Arrow, and then they had a couple Flash characters. But yeah, super good shows. Getting back on what we were talking about, the movies suck.
You guys are so easily derailed.
That's very true. Yes, we are.
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, I agree.
Rose?
What? Sorry.
I think we're done with 4K Spotlight now.
So Zack Snyder's Justice League, if you guys want to pick that up this Tuesday, there you go.
No.
No. I mean, considering it's on HBO Max, you have it at your disposal. So
Yeah.
it's like Caleb. Do I even need to send you the code? I'm kidding.
Not really.
Well,
Not if you don't want.
No. What the hell am I gonna do with it?
I mean, if you're buying it anyway, I mean, why not?
Yeah. Okay, so moving on into this week's sneak peeks. No, it's Through the Wall. God damn it. Wait, right? Or is it this week's sneak peeks or Through the Wall?
Through the Wall.
Through the Wall, okay. I'll remember one episode, I promise. So the only thing that we really are going to talk about is the Spider-Man Far From Home. Or No Way Home. God damn it.
Killing it, Rose.
All right, that's it. I'm out this episode. That's all you guys. The Spider-Man No Way Home official teaser trailer that came out, God, I want to say like two Mondays ago.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know. It was kind of a mediocre trailer. I don't know about you guys.
Dude, what?
I thought it was good.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
You are out of your freaking mind.
Too bad reviews.
I know, right? I'm on a roll this episode.
The worst.
Just watch. I'm gonna hate Shang-Chi. Wouldn't that be so funny?
No.
Oh shit. But yeah. So, if you guys haven't seen the trailer, Where the hell have you been? This is the most watched trailer of all time now. It beat Avengers Endgame by a lot, actually. I forget the actual numbers. But, yeah, within like 24 hours, it had, I think, over like, 30 million views?
Yeah, I think it's up to like 54 million. Like it's freaking up there now. But this has been a very highly anticipated movie, especially with all the stuff that they're in talks about throwing in, and everyone's like I feel like some people are like building themselves up like a little too
that's
high.
the problem I have. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, all the Spider-Mans are gonna be in this. They're gonna bring back all of these villains. The whole Sinister Six is gonna be there. I'm like, guys, can we just wait for the movie? If you keep speculating, if you keep saying, oh, this is gonna happen, you're gonna be disappointed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. If you're like setting yourself up to fail, like expecting all these things to happen, you're like, where was it? Like, it's best to just go in kind of blind and then be surprised.
Yeah. Like, this is basically what happened with WandaVision. Like, you guys watched...
Yeah.
You guys... Okay, cool. Yeah, so everyone was speculating, like, oh, the big villain is Mephisto, the MCU's version of the devil. Like, oh, that's who's behind all this, that's who's behind all this, and it's just... No. Like, that... Like, just wait for the movie to end, or the show to end.
Right.
Dude, the best part about WandaVision, speaking of, I was listening to the episode where we recapped, like, when they announced all those Disney Plus shows. And apparently, I didn't realize we hated the name. We hated WandaVision.
Oh, really?
Like, they're going to change it. They're so going to change it. And they never did.
I mean, do you still think they should?
No, I love the name.
I stand by what I said. I wasn't the biggest fan. I understand why they went with WandaVision, but
right.
I'm still not the biggest fan of the name. But,
okay.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I cut you off. It sounded like you're gonna say something.
No.
Was it just that you don't like the name?
Yeah, that's basically it.
My bad. Like, which one of the shows was your favorite out of those? Like, what is it? The Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Loki? Did you not like that?
No, I loved Loki.
Oh, okay.
I loved all of them. But
me too.
Like, right, it's always been like the latest one. Like, I loved WandaVision, and then when Falcon and the Winter Soldier came out, I'm like, oh, I freaking love this show. And then I'm like, how can you top this? He becomes Captain America, and then they upped it with Loki, and I'm like, this is great. And now I'm on Team What If. I freaking love the What If series.
We've only seen the first episode. Like, I saw that they have one with the Black Panther that I'm like antsy to watch, but also I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it sad?
No.
Okay.
They do have like a little tribute for Chadwick Boseman at the end because he was able to record all of his lines for this show.
Mm-hmm.
And he.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and so, yeah, he was in like the entirety of the second episode, and it was bittersweet hearing him talk, but you could tell he was having a good time with it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look at that. Is there any other episodes? Because we only saw the first one where the Captain America was a woman.
Yeah, so there's that one. There is What If T'Challa became Star-Lord?
Oh.
Then the third one was What If Earth lost its mightiest Avengers? And then the most recent one today was the Doctor Strange one.
Okay, so we're pretty far behind. Yeah.
Just 3 episodes.
30 minutes each, so
yeah,
you could catch it very easily.
Okay.
Yeah, the Doctor Strange one was really good. the last one, the one with the if Earth lost its mightiest Avengers or mightiest heroes, that one that one messed me up.
Really?
It made me sad.
Yeah.
And you'll see why as long as you remember that Hulk is my favorite character.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't spoil anything, but yeah.
Like, why is Hulk your favorite?
So, growing up, yeah, you're just going to get me on a big old tangent here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a talking show.
True.
I'm not doing the talking. You are.
I mean, for me personally, growing up, before church on Sundays, my dad and I would, after we had gotten dressed up and were just waiting to go, we would sit down and turn on TV, and usually it was like TV Land, and they had all of those old shows going. So we were watching The Incredible Hulk, the one with Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, okay. The TV show.
Yeah, so I grew up watching that.
Those were terrible.
I respectfully disagree.
Like, my main problem with the Hulk is why doesn't his pants rip off? Like, just his ankles. Like, he always looks shipwrecked. Like,
That is a fair assessment.
I mean, I get it, but it doesn't make sense. But like, I remember watching that when I was younger too, and like, I mean, it was good for the times. They didn't really have much special effects or anything, but like, I love watching old stuff like that. Like, I saw on like the Roku channel, they have like the old Batman series with like Adam West, and I was like watching through that, and I used to watch that after school every day, and that's how I started loving Batman. So I get it, but like, it's just funny looking back at it now compared to like Marvel. Like, yeah.
But I have such a soft spot for for Lou Ferrigno's Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I actually went back and rewatched the entire series because it was on Hulu, and I freaking loved it.
Yeah.
I knew, I'm like, okay, this is like super cheesy, like every time he transforms, but it is so cool. So I had that, and then when I started like getting into Hulk as a character, like, there was just a lot of similarities between me and him, and just like, I wouldn't say I had like anger issues.
Okay.
But, like,
did you experiment with like gamma rays?
No.
If I don't only build shelves. I've also failed at experiments. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
And now I can't get angry.
No, I had a really difficult time. Like, I'm not sure if you listen or how much of the episode with DJ that you listened to.
Actually, I haven't heard it yet.
No? Okay.
Because it was very long, and I was like, I don't know.
That's fair. That is absolutely fair.
If Vic says it's long, you know it's long. I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's like nonstop entertainment because DJ is definitely a chatty Cathy. But I was like, ooh, 3 hours.
Yeah. So we were.
I'm just teasing.
No, we were getting into some issues I had, like, growing up. Like, I had some, I wouldn't call them anger issues, but it's just like hard time controlling my anger. And it was like, I would just let things build up for a really long time, and then I would just explode on someone.
So what really happened to the shelf? It did not fall off the wall.
You have no idea how much I was praying that it wasn't my Hulk shelf.
Oh my. Oh. Well, now let's get serious. Have you done anything to like work on that, or?
Well, I think like I was reading up on Hulk as a character and Bruce Banner, and just like the way that they talk about anger and like dealing with like a side that you don't like, which for me, the side I didn't like was when I would explode on some unfortunate soul. Like,
yeah.
It just helped me like relate to the character a bit more.
And like at the end of the day, is your wife like, the sun's getting low?
Oh my gosh. I wish, that'd be great.
But I mean, it's good that you like recognize that in yourself, so you can try to not do the things that you don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that was just what was super great about Marvel characters. They were easy to relate to. Unlike DC, I feel like their characters are just so overpowered and just are put on such a high pedestal. It's hard to relate to them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can't really see myself in Bruce Wayne. Like, poor, like my parents are alive. But like, I don't know why I love Batman so much. Maybe it's just because he's a regular person that has to use like gadgets and like his wits. But beyond that, like, I can't say that I really personally relate to the character, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think with them, it's just a major, like, they have like an ideal that they are. Like, Superman is supposed to be like this picture of perfection.
Right.
Obviously, like, Clark Kent has issues and has to deal with the real world occasionally. But yeah, like Batman, I could never relate to Batman because he's just like everything that I'm not.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then just like it was also like what they stood for. Like, Superman was just all about justice, and Batman was about like vengeance. It's just like they push so hard onto that ideal that it was really hard to get into. When Marvel characters, they were struggling with something that they had to overcome that was very human, and that whatever they were dealing with made them struggle against their villains, and then they had to like overcome that obstacle in their life to finally be the person that they needed to be to defeat the villain.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's really deep. Yeah, I just can't remember what I was going to say again. Like, I just feel so scatterbrained, guys. I'm sorry.
You're fine. This has been so much fun. Have we even talked about Spiderman yet?
I don't think so.
Not really.
All right. What? So, Beth, you said you liked the trailer.
Yes.
Have you seen like the other Spider-Man movies?
Like the old ones with Tobey Maguire and who was the other, Garfield?
Yeah, Andrew Garfield.
I don't remember the one with Andrew Garfield, but I've seen all the Tobey Maguire ones, like probably multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you know that Alfred Molina was going to come back as Doc Ock, or was that like a surprise?
A surprise. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was a surprise.
Oh my gosh, that must have been so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
With how much we keep up on movie news, like it's so hard to like surprise us in trailers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like we knew Alfred Molina was going to be coming back. Like how long ago? Like months ago.
Yeah. I will agree though that Green Goblin Pumpkin Bomb did surprise me.
That one took me
I
off
did
guard.
not expect that to come out.
I heard a lot of speculation about that, and like I know Willem Dafoe was being like super secretive.
Like, was that in the trailer? I don't.
Yeah, so it was the pumpkin bomb, the little orange ball with the green on it.
It gets thrown out of the smoke right before Doc Ock appears.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I noticed it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because I only watched it once in like passing. DJ was like, "Hey, look at this." So, like, I was watching it, but I wasn't like 1,000% paying attention until the end, and I was like, "Oh my god, is that?" But so I didn't notice that. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
Good.
Yeah, they had a lot of like the main ones that they showcased were Green Goblin and Doc Ock, but
Okay.
apparently they had a lot of like those hidden villains. Like the one of the big ones was the Yellow Lightning, was supposed to show off Jamie Foxx's Electro from the Andrew Garfield movies.
Okay. Like, so he had more than one movie? I don't know if I've ever seen them, actually.
Yeah, so he had one with... So Andrew Garfield had two movies. The first one was with the Lizard. And then the second one was with Jamie Foxx, where he was, like, blue. The lightning electro guy.
I'm going to guess I have not seen those. Yeah.
You're not missing a lot.
I mean, Andrew Garfield's performance is really good in those, so I feel they're still worth a watch.
Yeah. I mean, I would watch it. I like Spiderman.
Yeah.
Like, I would try it, but I don't know how we missed those.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
definitely
maybe
worth a
DJ
watch.
didn't.
People did, I feel.
So, I gave DJ the password to my Vudu account, and both of those movies are on there. So,
Okay.
yeah, feel free to go watch those.
All right.
But yeah, so Jamie Foxx is going to be coming back. I'm pretty sure that was confirmed, right? Or was that just speculation?
I don't know, actually. I thought it was, but I don't know anymore.
Yeah, so he was supposed to come back, but he did say that he wasn't going to be blue like he was in the Andrew Garfield movie. And so that's why everyone's just like, oh, it's the Yellow Lightning, the classic color that Electro used from the comics. And so that was something that they thought. Then there was like this big sand wall. And so people were thinking, oh, it's Sandman.
Okay,
And
I
then there
remember
was-
him.
Yeah, and then there was it looked like Tom Holland was like kind of behind a shield or something, or like some sort of force field, and someone was coming to like hit on it, and it was just like a really dark figure. So some people were speculating that might have been the Lizard, and some people are thinking that it's Venom.
I could see that.
Yeah, so there's just like a lot of little Easter eggs getting hidden everywhere through this.
Okay.
And then me and Vic were talking, and like the whole scene on the train, we thought that this was going to be like a Spider-Man versus Doctor Strange fight.
Right.
Which would be trippy. But the reason that we thought that was because they were facing each other. And I think if it was like some move that Doctor Strange was doing to help Peter, I think he'd be facing the other direction.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but I freaking loved it. And Alfred Molina, dude, he looks so good. Like I feel he looks better than he did in the first or the Spider-Man 2.
Like you don't think any of it's like CGI, like to make
I was
him
just about to
look?
bring that up.
If it is, it looks amazing.
Okay. I mean, he might just look that good still.
Yeah. Well, we saw him. At least the last movie I remember seeing him in was Promising Young Woman,
Okay.
and he looked great in that movie.
I heard that was a really good movie, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was super good. We actually rated that one. What did we give it? Oh, we gave it an A-.
Okay.
Speaking of
Like-
that, I still need to send you that code.
I have to admit, I only listen to the ones where I've seen the movie in case I want to watch it because I don't want it to be spoiled.
We get it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, like I know a long time ago I was joking around about not being able to watch Scoob whenever you guys like were rating it. I'm like, son of a bitch. But now we finally got to watch it on HBO. I'm like, I'll have to go back and see what they said. It was a really cute movie. I loved it.
Yeah, we ended up liking it too, I think.
It was a long time ago.
We mostly liked the Mystery Inc. parts.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not everything else. At least I didn't.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I guess I grew up watching like the Cartoon Network with all those Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like with their like they had racing cartoons where they're all trying to win a race. And so like we would see like Dick Dastardly and like Muttley always like pulling tricks and stuff trying to win. So I kind of like those characters too.
Yeah.
And how Muttley is just always like chuckling. Like
My gosh, I freaking love Muttley.
yeah.
Any other note? Anything else you guys want to say about the Spider-Man trailer? I mean, I've said as much as I feel I can without getting too deep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just amazing, like how many little things people pointed out on the internet about this trailer. Like someone pointed out with the whole Doc Ock scene, like, oh my gosh, Tom Holland is in like the exact same suit that Tobey Maguire was in Spider-Man 3 at the beginning. I'm like, that's what you pick up on?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
Dude, it's insane what people catch. Like, hell, I freaking like rewatching the trailer over and over again. Like, I started picking stuff up too. Like, there was a lot of scenes where I talked about this with Vic, where I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're getting lied to on some of these shots. Like, I don't, like, for example, like, I don't think the train scene where him and Doctor Strange are on the train and he's doing like that weird magic trick, I don't think that's actually taking place in the Grand Canyon. Like, I think that it's taking place in the city.
beauty of green screen.
Yeah. I just think that maybe they just did that to, maybe there was a spoiler in the background and they didn't want to give it away. Because they did that with Thor Ragnarok, where they thought, where Thor and Hela were in like an alleyway when Hela breaks Mjolnir, but it ended up being like out in the open field.
Oh, okay. So they deceived us on purpose.
Yeah, and then there was
Yeah.
the scene, like the big scene where Thor comes like smashing down, and he has both of his eyes, but in the movie, one of his eyes is missing.
Oh, yep.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
definitely one of the best ones.
Yeah, so I was just talking through those. I'm like, we're getting lied to on something, and then like there was another one where Tom Holland, it looked like he was talking to this woman in the car, but she just had like a really blank expression on her face, and I'm like, that looks like a fake person. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not actually who he's talking to.
Okay.
But there's just like stuff like that. Like, I was picking up a lot on like, that looks fake.
Like, do you think they still like put the most exciting scenes in movie trailers, like, to try to reel people in? Like, how do you guys watch movie trailers? Like, you seek them out? Like, how do you know about them?
I mean, for me, it depends on the movie. Like for like some like fan pages I'm a part of, like they'll be like, "Oh, the trailer just got leaked. I'm sure they're gonna release it either today or tomorrow." And so like I'll be checking social media constantly just for them to finally actually release it.
Okay. Because, like, now with watching streaming services with no commercials, like, I don't feel like we're getting all the trailers like we would if we were still watching cable or like regular TV. Like, now we have to like know it's coming and look for it.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah, I follow a lot of movie news pages, and like I
Okay.
knew that the I knew this trailer got leaked. I will never go and actively seek out the leaked trailers. I
Oh,
will
okay.
only watch what's been officially released by Marvel.
Okay. Like, do you just not want to be spoiled, or you don't want to? Why don't you watch the leaked ones?
That's usually the case. Like I feel like the ones that get leaked, like especially ones through like Comic-Cons or whatever, like Comic-Cons are a little bit different, but one where it's just like, oh, this trailer got leaked, it's not officially out yet. I feel like for some reason those seem to have a lot more spoilers than the trailer itself.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like they're like setting us up for big payoffs too with those trailers that they're releasing. So if you see something out of school or out of turn or whatever, and then like it might ruin the whole thing for you. Like, I'm not a big fan of like knowing everything about something at first. Like, I like to watch movies not knowing anything about it so I can like just be totally immersed in the story instead of thinking about, well, I already know what's going to happen. When's it going to happen?
yeah, like
Yeah.
I will net like anytime they're like, oh, there's like behind the scenes footage that someone caught on like their camera, I will never watch that because like that usually ends up being the only thing that I'll look up where it's like a behind the scenes picture. I'll only do that for Suits.
The TV show?
Yeah, and like vehicles. So if like the Ms.
okay.
Marvel, like Ms. Marvel, they were like, "Oh, we finally got a picture of what Ms. Marvel's going to look like in her super suit." And so I'll look at a picture of that. But if there was just like, "Oh, we got this footage of them shooting a scene," I'm like, "No, I won't watch that."
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, just because I like seeing the suits. I'm like, I just want to make sure the suit looks good, and then like they did that with the second Shazam movie. They updated all the suits, and so I think it was Zachary Levi. He posted a picture of the new suit.
Really?
Yeah, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I wonder how that. I'm the only thing about that. I'm wondering how they're going to justify that with it being a magical suit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm like, does he get? Like, can he just do that?
Yeah, you can just change it. Why not? It's magic. Did you guys ever watch Chuck? Like, it was the show that Zachary Levi was on, and he had like it was a good show.
Was it?
It was a really good show, yeah. I mean, it was kind of cheesy sometimes, but like it's where this guy like gets like a computer, somebody sends it to him. A spy sends it to him and it like downloads to his brain. And then these two spies have to like protect him because people are trying to access it. And he like sometimes if he needs to learn something really fast, he can like access it, and it's called the intersect. So if he needs to learn kung fu or something, he could. So I don't know. It was pretty good.
That sounds super cool.
Yeah, it might be a little bit dated now because I think it came out maybe in the like mid 2000s.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, but we liked it.
I'm interested. I really like Zachary Levi.
Yeah.
Same.
He's a lot bigger than I thought he was. Like, he's really tall.
Is he?
He look. Maybe he's not. He looks like it on TV. Yeah. Like on Chuck, he was like tall and lanky, but in the
6'3".
Holy shit.
okay,
Damn. You're not wrong, Beth. He is very tall.
all right.
Well, he's only an inch taller than me.
Really, you're that tall too?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
he's
6'2".
tall.
Okay, yeah, you're pretty tall.
Yeah, I was expecting you to say like 6'5" with that reaction.
Oh no,
Anything above 6 foot is tall to me. So
me too. Like me and DJ are like, I think DJ's like 5'3", and like 5'4". I don't wear heel. Yeah,
Jeez.
he's pretty short.
Yeah.
He probably didn't want me to tell you that. So those are the facts.
I hope to get a message from him when this comes out and be like, I'm actually 5'4".
Yeah, I'm actually 6'4". I'm taller than Chuck and Caleb.
Caleb's a lot taller than me, so if that makes him feel any better.
Yeah.
Maybe not a lot.
I mean, do you have to like get stuff off of high shelves for people? Like, is there any perks to being super tall?
Not really. I mean,
Like
that. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's really any perks. Like, most people, like, unless they're like super short or really old, no one really asks me for help grabbing stuff off of top shelves. But
so
yeah.
you don't
Dude,
get to use your superpower.
Yeah,
I'll
I
do
have
it
a
for you.
feeling like I have a feeling my daughter's gonna be super tall.
Really?
Yeah, because like people have been saying, like she went to like a wellness check today, and the doctors were saying like, wow, like she's really tall, like especially for her age, because she's only like 19 months old, and she's already taller than a lot of like 2 and 3 year olds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
And
is your wife tall or?
She is 5'10".
So yes.
Yes. Yeah, she's just like a little bit shorter than me, but not much.
Yeah. But like, I don't think the average height is like over like what, 5'8", or like for ladies. Like that's usually where like models start weighing in.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a feeling that she's gonna be real tall.
Yeah. Well, good. When you're old, she can get stuff off the shelf for you.
Yep.
There we go. It's a wonderful circle.
Yeah. I hope I don't become like a fragile old man.
Like, do you think you're going to be really mean? Because I feel like I'm starting to lean towards getting pissed off more about nothing.
I don't know. I'm already really bitchy.
Yeah.
So probably. No, I don't know. I feel like everyone in my no one in my family, at least that I've met so far, has become like old and fragile.
Yeah.
Like before they've died, like they've all had their wits about them. Like my great uncle passed away a couple years ago. He was 94 years old.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, you want to know how he died?
Wasn't of old age?
No, he ran himself over on accident.
Oh my gosh. How?
So he was he was driving around in his truck he owned a ranch, and he was getting out to check on something, but didn't put his emergency brake on, and got in front of the truck, and the truck just kind of like snuck up on him and hit him and ran him over.
Gosh.
And at 94 years old, he was still breaking horses.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
Yeah, I've always told everyone, I'm like, the Albers family have to be escorted off the planet. A great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather of mine, he freaking had a brain hemorrhage that wasn't found. It wasn't very common in people. It was most common in horses.
Oh.
Yeah, and on the report it just said, no idea how this guy had this hemorrhage that is found in horses. I found his death certificate and everything.
Oh, man.
I'm like, the Albers family is a very stubborn group.
That's nuts. And I didn't really know my dad when I was a kid. I didn't meet him, my real dad, until I was 28. And it was good because me and DJ didn't get married until I was 29, and so he got to come to my wedding. So it was nice, and then I got to meet him. And I got to meet some of my other family, and his mother was alive, and she was 103 years old.
Oh my gosh.
It was yeah, exactly. I'm oh, I got them good genes. I'm gonna live forever. But then he got ALS, and then he just recently passed away from it because he couldn't he lost all movement, and he was just trapped in his body. So I'm son of a bitch. That's terrible. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I'm definitely sad about it, but it's better that he's not trapped in his body because that was worse. Yeah. So, but probably not gonna live forever.
You never know, you'll beat the odds. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, you don't.
Yeah, that's some scary shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you see people doing the ice bucket challenge and stuff, and you're oh, that's crazy. And maybe I should donate or something, and then the next thing you know, someone in your family has it, and you're wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
You guys should donate.
Yeah, that is a big fear of mine. I don't want something to happen where that. I don't want to be stuck in my body.
Right.
I would. Push me into traffic if that happens.
No, just put some extra morphine in your in your IV. I don't want to get hit by a car. What if you don't die and you can still feel, but you can't move?
I mean, fair, but I don't know. I've always said I'm just if I can't bathe myself, just put me down.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the main thing too with becoming old. How much dignity do you lose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said I don't want to become old and fragile. I want to go out like my uncle did. I want to I want to be escorted to the gates of hell.
Well.
I want God to be you don't have an option. You're coming now.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you just said you wanted to be escorted to the gates of hell, but then you said,
"Oh
no, yeah." But then you brought in God. I'm confused. Are you going to heaven or hell?
Well, he can send me to hell.
Oh, okay. I mean, I already know I'm going there, so I'll see you there.
Yeah, I'll be a freaking party.
Yeah. Be you, me, my buddy JC. It's gonna be awesome, man.
Oh. Well, we got off track.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so how about that Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Since we do this with every trailer, excitement level out of 10. Where are you guys at?
Am I going first?
Yeah, you can since Rose is taking forever.
No, Rose can go.
Sorry.
I wasn't sure if I should wait. Is there a signal? I don't know.
I mean, Caleb should have a signal for this.
I know. I don't know. Our show isn't as well put together as most.
We thought. I would say that. We thought it was well put together, but apparently not.
I think it is. Like, we just freaking throw some bumpers on front and back, and we don't hardly do any editing. Like, sometimes we record the night before it's due at the very last minute. Like, I try to listen to them. So, like, sometimes I get super embarrassed about some things that I, like, say on the podcast. And I'm like, I don't know if I should have said that, or I don't want to look stupid. So I like to listen to them before they're released. But sometimes not so much.
Yeah, I won't listen to episodes before I release. I'll listen to like the beginning to make sure the intro sounds like okay, and I'll listen to the end to make sure it ends where it's supposed to. But other than that, I don't listen to it until maybe like a few weeks after it's been released.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah.
What about you, Rose?
I actually, for the most part, listen to our episodes every Monday when I have to do the juicing at my job. You think that I would listen to another podcast, but no, apparently I like to listen to myself.
Me too.
Yeah. I think it just helps you reflect. But anyway, 1 out of 10. What are you guys at?
I mean, I'm absolutely at a 4, but I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa.
Not much of a dick.
Jeez. Dude, I'm going to freaking punch you.
Okay, come on, fly out to Utah. Let's go.
All right, so 4. What are
Is
you
that
at?
your real number?
I changed.
I thought
it
you
to
were
10.
joking.
A 10.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 10 too, because I'm just excited about any new Marvel movies.
Yeah, that makes 3 of us. I'm super excited for this one.
Yeah.
The Doc Ock scene alone freaking got me, but knowing that we're going to get something related to the Green Goblin. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. That was so good.
Yeah. Like, I really like Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, he's creepy.
Yeah.
Like some people were saying, like, I'm kind of pissed off that they put him in under a mask for Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Fair
like, you
enough.
could just, like, morphed his face a little bit.
Like they did with Dane DeHaan in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, a little bit. Dude, did you know that originally, like, their first concept for Green Goblin, he was supposed to have, like, an animatronic mask?
Oh, I didn't know.
I do remember hearing about that.
Yeah, it was, like...
No, they had to change it to Power Ranger.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, why?
No idea.
Why, Caleb?
Probably.
Yeah, no clue. No idea why they did that.
Like me and DJ always joke around about me being a Y wife. Have you got that on the podcast?
Oh my gosh.
You're like, oh, we're in danger. Get down. Why?
There's a whole, like, a Bill Engvall joke about that, where he was telling his wife, he's just like, you know what, you never listen to me. And she's just like, he said he put her book down, just like, what are you talking about? He's just like, you never listen to me. Like, if we were walking down the street and something happened where there's this big old wrecking ball coming straight for your head, and I told you to duck, you would turn around and say, what? And then you would die.
Yep.
And she's just like, you know what? You're right. I don't listen to you, because if every time you told me to duck, I ducked, you would do it just to mess with me.
Yeah, exactly. Can't trust them.
Oh my gosh, you and my wife would get along.
Oh, really? Is she a white wife too?
Yes, very much so.
Well, it's not that I just don't trust what he's saying or I don't want to listen to what he's saying, but I'm like, maybe I can help. Which is probably worse.
It's yeah. I don't. It's funny because it's like she does it to me, and like I'll express how much it irritates me. I'm like, you don't have to ask me why about everything. Sometimes I just want to complain. And then like same thing with her. Like she'll start like talking about something and be like, I mean, what would you do about this? And I'm like, oh well, I mean, I would do this, this, and this, and then I'll come up with a solution later and be like, hey, like what if we did this, or this? And she's just like, Caleb, I don't need you to fix everything for me. I just want you to listen. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Like that happens with us a lot too. Like sometimes I feel like when I'm like talking about my work problems, like DJ's just on autopilot while I'm just like, I'm also on autopilot while I'm like spewing these words at him. And like, I just have to say them out loud, I guess. And it doesn't even matter that he's listening or not. And if I quizzed him on it, I know for sure he is not, but I'm like, I just have to say it.
Yeah.
But it's the same too, like the opposite way. Like sometimes they'll be like, right? And I'm like, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that happens all the time. Like, I think what bugs me is that she doesn't want me to fix her problems, but she does want me to hear and understand her problems.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, because usually like when I just am just talking to talk, she'll play on her phone or just like do something, and then I can just get it out and be like, all right, thanks, and leave.
Right.
And then she'll do like the same thing. I'm like, okay, do you need me to fix this? And she's like, no, I just need you to listen. I'm like, all right, great. And then I'll go and do something on my phone. She's like, you're not listening. And I'm like, like, you never listen to me? Like you said, I didn't need to fix it. My part here is done.
It's never done, Caleb.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry.
You're good.
It's turning into a therapy episode.
I know. That's what the last one turned into, too.
That's true. It did.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I mean, with Beth, I freaking talk about my relationship with my wife, and then with DJ, I talk about the relationship with my parents.
Oh, really?
we had a big old spiel about that.
Okay.
With him. Like even
I need to listen to it.
Even Vic messaged me and he's just like, dude, this just turned into a therapy session for you. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
I want to say that part alone went on for like 30 minutes.
It went on for a while.
Yeah.
Like, did you uncover anything that you're like, oh yeah, I am mad at him?
No, JJ was just asking me a lot about my parents, and I was telling him that like my dad thinks our podcast is stupid and a waste of time and all this other stuff.
Like, what
and
does he?
And DJ's like,
What
I
does he
want to
do?
get him on or dragging the table. And I'm like, no, I would not do that to you, DJ.
Like, what does your dad do?
Like for work?
Yeah.
Construction.
Or like for a hobby? Like, does he have anything that he does that you think is stupid?
Unfortunately, no. Like, my dad does construction for work, which is just like a not as refined version of what I want to do with woodworking.
Okay.
And then, like, his hobby, he, like, has, like, if you say basic, like, boy hobbies, it's like guns, cars, and motorcycles.
Okay. Like, isn't it crazy that your parents can say something that you like is stupid, but it's hard for you to like turn it around on them? You're like, everything he does is the right thing.
Yeah, it sucks because like my brother is super into that kind of stuff. I'm not. Like
Right.
I don't understand guns at all. Like I like shooting guns. I know how to use guns, but if you were to throw some number at me, be like, what kind of weapons use this? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then like same thing with like I tell everyone, like, anytime I go to like a mechanic to get something fixed on my car, I'm like, well, it's making like a weird noise.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not trained to be a mechanic, like, how are you supposed to know?
Yeah, so I don't understand that stuff, which my dad and brother like automatically know what's wrong. Like I can go and be like, it's making this noise, nah, 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 nah. And they're like, oh, it's probably this. Like, how do you know?
Yeah. They just know.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of stuff that I wish I was into, or I feel like as a man I should be into, but I'm not. I'm like, no, I freaking love superheroes and talking about movies.
Are you guys into sports?
No.
Good. Because we hate sports. I mean, it's not that we really hate them, but we just aren't into it. And I'm like so glad that we're on the same page with that. Like, both of us are not like, or either one of us isn't like, oh, I gotta catch the big game. Like,
Dude,
so
like, legit, like that freaking sucks too. And everyone just like starts cheering. I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah. So
Like,
I mean,
anytime we've gone to like a Super Bowl party, like I could care less about the game. I'm just here for the snacks, man. And then and then I see the Marvel Studios logo come up, and I'm like, shut up! Like, everyone, shut the hell up!
Yeah, that seems right. But like, yeah, I don't even think we've ever gone to like a Super Bowl party. Like, I think we've talked about before how like whenever that whole thing with Janet Jackson's like boob slip happened, like we were doing like crossword puzzle. Or at least I was. I don't know what DJ was doing, but I wasn't watching the Super Bowl.
And then that's just like what everyone's talking about the next day.
And like the internet wasn't that good back then. Like it was kind of like shoddy. So it's not like you've like, oh, let me go back and watch it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
the only sport that I actually understand a little bit about doesn't even exist.
Oh, what is it? Quidditch?
Quidditch. That's exactly it.
Really?
Yeah, like legit. Like I understand Quidditch most or better than any other sport.
Oh, how? Did I know? How did I know?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like fun if you could ride a broom.
Yeah. But that, like, legit, that's the only sport that I understand even a little bit. And
really?
I played t-ball as a kid. I still don't understand baseball.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Like, I know,
like it just seems
I know
boring.
the bases. I know the bases. I know what a home run is. But if someone's just like, oh, he's in the left outfield, I'm like,
yeah. Like, what's an RBI? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Or if someone's like, oh, this is his batting average. I'm like, I don't know what the hell that means.
Right. Is that good? I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I just kind of match the tone. They're just like, oh, his batting average is only this. I'm like, well, that sucks.
Like we've been to a few hockey games and I thought that was kind of fun because it's kind of like aggressive. And it's like sometimes when you go to like baseball or something, it's like hot outside, but hockey is on ice. You're like, oh, this is pretty comfortable. So it's not like, I don't know. I thought those games were kind of fun there. Do I watch it on TV? No.
Yeah. Hockey's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, I went to one hockey game and they, like, started fighting in the middle of the ring. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think I might go to like a wrestling match or something like that because it's like all entertainment, like over the top crazy stuff.
Yeah. Like,
Even though
I could, like, after watching that hockey game, I'm like, I can totally see why people are into WWE now.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't really think it's real. Like, I think it's mostly like athleticism and like acting. But I mean, they put on a show. You think it's real? Both of you guys do?
No, I know it's not
No,
real.
like
okay.
WWE.
My dad, I knew it wasn't.
Yeah, hockey.
Yeah.
I think there is some realism to hockey.
Yeah. Like, they're super aggressive in hockey. But like,
I've seen. Oh, sorry.
no, you go.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, like, I've seen videos of how like a guy got his throat sliced from someone
Oh my
else's
God.
skate. Yeah, it was so disturbing. It was really scary. Thankfully, the guy survived. But,
Dude,
Do you
how would
guys-
you have
have you
liked
ever-
to be at that game?
No. You're like, son of a bitch, now we have to forfeit. Oh,
Easily.
do you
I'm pretty
guys?
sure I saw a guy die.
I don't care if he's gonna die. I'm just joking. Do you guys know how to ice skate? Like, are y'all both from Utah? And I just said that really, really country accent. Like, are y'all both from Utah? Do they ice skate there? Like, do you guys get like full on winters, or like what's the weather like?
Like, they have ice rinks in Utah. They just, I know how to rollerblade, so it's
Okay.
basically the same thing, right?
Yeah, kind
I've heard
of.
many people say it's not. Well, I mean, I've just heard many people say it's a lot harder. It takes a lot more
Yeah.
practice to ice skate.
Like, I only tried once, and it was really hard. Like, I could rollerblade, but I could not ice skate. Because I felt like my ankles were just, like, turning in, and I'm like, this can't be good. So,
Yeah, I'm not coordinated with anything. Like, I can't skateboard. I can't ski.
mm-mm.
Rollerblading, I'm like all right at.
Yeah. Like, I wasn't a good roller skater. Like, I rollerbladed a little bit, like, on our, like, street by our house, but it was all, like, rocky. And, like, I'm like, probably going to break my face. So, like, that streak didn't last very long. But, like, rollerblades with, like, the inline wheels or whatever, I could do that. But the four wheels, I just couldn't figure it out. And, like, I'm afraid I'm going to fall.
Well, the ones with like the four wheels in a line, like those ones make sense because the brake is on the heel.
Yeah.
The freaking the weird four ones, like the brake is on the front. Like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah, it seems like you're going to go flying forward. Like, you try to brake.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
Um,
I try to keep my feet planted.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I was really good at riding the ripstick. You guys
Okay.
remember those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I suck at those.
Yeah, I was super good at those until I had hit like any sort of rock.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's the only thing I feel I had coordination for, other than like a scooter and a bike.
Yeah. So you say they have ice rinks, but did you guys get snowstorms or
Yeah, we would get Utah gets snowstorms all the time, but I don't think, at least I don't know of anyone that would go out on a lake and ice skate.
okay, so it wasn't that heavy.
It was heavy enough to freeze over lakes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know a bunch of people that would go ice fishing, but
Okay. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
just curious because I've never been to Utah and I don't know much about it.
You're not missing much.
No.
I'm sorry to say that, but you're really not. I mean, the mountains are beautiful. We get snow, but that's really it. Unless Caleb, you got anything? Even though you're a Utah trader.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Utah is also like really dry. Like the air is really dry.
yeah,
Like that's
so if you
one
have
thing.
Asthma, do not come here.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm dying over here for how bad the air's been for the past couple
Oh my.
months. Yeah.
Yeah,
Avoid
that's
Like-
something I've had to
the
adjust
plague.
to being in Georgia now. Is like the air feels heavy.
Right. Yeah, like it's the same here in Florida, like how it's kind of like humid, so it's like heavy.
Yeah,
So
like I don't like that. I have when I do get out of the shower, I feel like I'm wet for like 3 hours after
Oh,
my
really?
shower. Like it, yeah, it's like just like ugh.
stays on you.
Yeah. But Utah weather, it can get rough if you're not used to it.
Like, why did you leave Utah? Is that too
just-
personal?
No.
Okay.
No, we left because there's a specialist facility for a medical condition my wife has out
Oh,
here,
okay.
and we just kind of wanted a fresh start.
Okay.
My dad being a contractor, he's kind of friends with everyone out there,
Mhm.
and anytime I would go to like apply for a job, because I wanted to do woodworking, but like the nice finishing stuff, like building cabinets or whatever,
Okay.
I would try and go get a job with them, but a lot of places would refuse to hire me or just flat out tell me like, oh, we don't want to lose business with your dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they're like, so if it doesn't work out with you, we don't want to like fire you, and you'd go tell your dad, and he gets mad and just like cuts us off. I'm like,
They're like, well, I'll tell him you didn't hire me and have him cut you off. How do you like those apples?
yeah. So it's super hard to get into the field that I wanted to. I mean, I liked my job. I was driving a dumpster truck, but it was just garbage all day.
Oh, okay. Like, do you do something different now?
Yeah, I work at Gulfstream, building cabinets for private jets.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, still not exactly what I want to be doing, just because like they work with fiberglass and like really light material,
Mm.
so I don't get to work with lumber as much as I like. But
Like,
job.
what is your favorite type of wood? Like, what would you like to get like a big hunk of and like carve it into something?
ooh, anything that's not pine. Walnut's really nice.
Yeah.
I could go on forever about this, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to talk about lumber after this,
Okay. Sorry.
get into it. Oh my gosh, you almost unlocked that.
All right. Maybe next time.
Yeah, I'd have to change the name of this episode to Lumber Breakdown. It's like, and let me tell you what I like about cherry.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just curious about everything. Because, you know, why?
I get you. Anyway, want to get into this breakdown now?
Sure.
All right, so for this week's Allbros headliner, we'll be breaking down the, I think this came out, 2020 Netflix film, The Willoughbys, based on the book by Lois Lowry. And before we get into our breakdown, we did ask a question on our social media, and Caleb, I believe, has those responses.
Yes, I do. So, for our question of the week, we asked, what is a favorite non-holiday tradition or thing your family does? And I believe we only got one response on Twitter from @Breaker6696. And he said bitching every Sunday.
I like it.
Yeah.
And then I clarified with him. I'm like, that's a favorite? And he says, actually, they all leave for a Bear Lake trip the end of July every year. Best time to be alone. But fellow Utah guy, he actually lives in Magna.
Oh, I should contact him. Have him meet up. We'll get me and him in the same room. We'll do our podcast. There we go.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
That actually would be cool. I forget, how far is Magna away from American Fork?
I think it's like a couple hours.
Oh, shit. Well, I mean, it's a 30-hour drive to you, so, like, is really anything that far anymore?
Fair enough.
You said Magna, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not bad. It's about, like, 30, 45 minutes.
Oh.
Have you ever been to Georgia, Rose?
Yes,
His
twice.
face. Like,
Unfortunately, I'm just kidding. No,
yeah, so when I
I've been
moved,
twice.
he drove with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this past summer, I went to visit him a couple days.
I think Georgia's pretty nice. Like, they have that, like, thick Southern hospitality there.
Yeah. I've gotten my quite a bit of a from the old ladies, oh, bless your heart.
Oh, yeah.
And I've always, like, I asked my coworkers, I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Like, they say something like super shitty at me, and then they're like, oh, bless your heart, and they're like, that's just old lady speak for F you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Bless your heart too.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine that just being very aggressive, being, no, bless your heart.
Yeah.
But it's been a change. Freaking everyone's freaking telling me to go to Waffle House.
Have you been?
No.
What are you waiting for?
Because no one's been able to sell me on it. I'm like, oh, like, do they have like really good food? And they're like, no. I'm like,
I mean,
I'm like, do they have like decent
It's a Georgia
pancakes
staple,
or
so I
waffles
guess
or
you-
anything? They're like, oh no. I'm like, are there waffles?
oh
Like,
no.
like their French toast? Like, is like Waffle House kind of makes it sound like their waffles are gonna be good, and they're like, nah, their waffles are like they're all right. And I'm like, but you just need to go. And I'm like, why? And they're like, like, you just need to go, man. You need to experience Waffle House. And I'm like, okay, like, are they like really nice places? And I'm like, he's like, no, like,
No.
you can't find one that's clean.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what the? Like, why the hell would I want to go?
I don't know. I love Waffle House, so because like it's like quick breakfast. So like you just pop in. Like the only thing that sucks is like they have really limited seating. So there's like, I don't know, 6 booths, and then you could sit at the bar. But they like turn people out of there really quick. So if you're in the mood for like breakfast now, then you can go there and they like cook it in front of you. So I like their waffles, okay? Like, I don't think it's anything fancy. I don't think that should have been in the name. But, but I mean, you should go.
Again, you haven't really sold me on it. Like, when people were trying to sell me on Cracker Barrel, they're just like, oh, they have like a really cool shop of all these cool little knickknacks and stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll go check that out. And I really like Cracker Barrel. Like, no one's been able to sell me on Waffle House because like
That's
they're
hilarious.
like, yeah, you could probably get better waffles somewhere else. And like, and then like, I sent DJ a TikTok about it, and I was just, someone was like sharing like Waffle House, and they're like, oh, Waffle House is closed, and they're like, oh shit, like we need to get out of here.
Oh, because it's like hurricane season. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Like the Waffle House doesn't close except when there's a hurricane.
Yeah, he's just like there was a whole TikTok about it. It's just like, dude, there's like this stage 5 or whatever the thing is for, like a stage 5 hurricane coming, and he's like, okay, and he's like million like of houses are like, we need to go, we need to get out of here, and he's just like, no, like we're not going. He's like, Waffle House is closed. He's like, oh shit. And I'm like, dude, is this like a real thing?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think Waffle House is better than Denny's. Like,
that's not a super high bar, Beth.
It's not a super high bar.
Is it better than IHOP?
It's faster than IHOP.
That's not better.
She's trying here, Caleb. She's trying.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what, Caleb? I'll tell you this. The next time I come out there, I'm dragging your ass to Waffle House. Deal?
Dude, I remember on our freaking road trip,
the car.
like, we were sitting in like complete silence for like a good couple hours, just driving, listening to some podcast. You lowered the volume on the podcast, and you're like, dude, I think we passed like 6 Waffle Houses. And I'm like, yeah, I think so too. Like, I'm seeing them everywhere.
Like, that's how it is with Cracker Barrel too. Like, if you're on the interstate, there's one almost at every exit.
That's fair, but like I feel like Waffle Houses, and this is like coming off of living in Utah, where I had never seen a Waffle House before.
Yeah.
So that was jarring.
Right? There's not one out here, isn't there?
No, the nearest one's in Nevada, and I hadn't my grandpa lives in Vegas, where this Waffle House supposedly is. I have never seen it.
Like, has he ever been there?
My grandpa?
Yeah. You should ask him what he thinks about it.
Yeah, well, he grew up in Louisiana, so I'm assuming, so he's kind of from this side of the country, so I'm assuming he knows what a Waffle House is.
Like, I wonder what he thinks about, like, Popeye's chicken. Like, I always wonder, like, whenever people are selling food, like, that is supposed to be, like, indicative of a location or like a state or something, if it's even close to what it actually would be. So in Louisiana, do you think they're eating Popeyes?
That's a really good question.
Get back to us.
Okay.
I'll have to take a trip now and be like, hey, do you guys like Popeyes? Dude, that's the same with KFC. Did you know the first KFC was opened in Utah?
So not Kentucky?
Yeah, it was not Kentucky. There's even a sign for it. The world's first Kentucky Fried Chicken is in Utah.
So they're saying that they just like stole the recipes from Kentucky?
I have no idea.
Like,
I just thought that was a weird thing. I'm like, that can't be true. I looked it up. Sure as hell. That was the first KFC.
Okay.
That's nuts.
Wow. Yeah, that is nuts.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Breaker, for answering our question of the week. Now getting into the actual breakdown. If you are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually grade to come to a final All Bros and Untrained Eye letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give it our own personal grade at the very end. So if you have not seen The Willoughbys, it is on Netflix right now, so you guys should go check it out. And yeah, so Rose is about to spoil the entire thing by reading off the synopsis. So, reading with Rose, everyone.
I just want to point out this is like one of the longest synopsises I've ever seen in a while.
Really?
I don't know if this movie really needs it, but okay. So, a blue tabby cat narrates the story of the Willoughbys, who were once considered a proud and creative family full of the greatest men and women for generations. The present-day Mr. and Mrs. Willoughby, however, are too... Oh my god, I'm already screwing up. Enamored with each other to care for their 4 children, neglecting and emotionally abusing them. Tim, the oldest of the 4, raises himself and his siblings, but suffers the brunt of the punishments for their actions, mainly by being tossed into a coal bin as punishment for even minor infractions. Jane, the middle child, is the most outspoken of the bunch and is often silenced by her parents. The twins, both named Barnaby, are the youngest and the most intelligent. After discovering an orphaned baby, Jane takes her in. When she wreaks havoc in the living room, the Willoughby parents throw all 5 children out of the house, forbidding their kids to return unless they get rid of the baby. Tim blames Jane for this, but Jane tells him that she knows where they can find a perfect home. They leave the baby, who Tim names Ruth, on the doorstep of Commander Melanoff's candy factory at the end of a rainbow. Having never been outside before, the siblings believe the candy factory to be the perfect home and, on their way home, begin hatching a plan to improve their lives by ridding themselves of their abusive parents, and do so by creating a dream vacation brochure for their parents. Full of locations that could kill or severely maim their parents, and, as such, leave the Willoughby children orphans themselves. The parents leave immediately on their vacation, leaving the siblings with no knowledge of how to warm the house up or prepare their own food. Thankfully, the cheap nanny their parents hired soon appears to take care of them. Jane warms up to her immediately, with the Barnabys following soon after, while Tim remains distrustful towards her. Tim refuses to eat her oats despite not having eaten anything for days prior to her arrival. Shortly later, Tim misbehaves, accidentally throwing the oats at her as he slams his fists onto the table. Nanny tries to put Tim in a timeout as a punishment, but soon begins to learn of the neglect and abuse done onto the children and rushes off to Melanoff's factory with the children in tow when she finds out about Ruth. After saving Ruth from the assembly line, Nanny and Melanoff feed the baby some oatmeal. Melanoff explains that he planned to leave Ruth to the Department of Orphan Services after she came in, but very quickly grew attached to her, much to Nanny's relief. Nanny realizes that Ruth will be safe living in the factory. Meanwhile, the Willoughby parents have somehow survived the disasters planned for them by their children, but have gone broke. Dreading returning to their home and subsequently their children, they decide to put the age-old Willoughby house up for sale in favor of continuing their adventures. They inform Nanny of their actions and demand she figure out what to do with the children on her own. Tim, still not quite trusting of Nanny, steals her cell phone to find out what she's up to after reading a text and overhearing a voicemail left by his father when they arrive back at the Willoughby house. Tim finds out about the sale and, with the aid of his siblings, manages to scare off all potential buyers the next day. Nanny scares off the perfect family, saying that it's her duty to look after the kids first, parents' wishes second, and finally earns Tim's trust. However, prior to the potential buyers arriving, Tim called Orphan Services, believing Nanny to have had ill intentions from what he found on her phone. Agent Alice Verkanov and the Orphan Services arrive and reveal Tim's call, making Nanny, revealed as Linda, an orphan who never found a loving home, lose her trust in the children and causing her to leave in tears. Heartbroken over Linda's departure and infuriated at Tim for driving her away, Jane denounces him for his bossiness and selfish actions just before the Willoughby children are separated and taken to separate foster homes. The Barnabys are taken to a modern home where they stop inventing and become indulged in the internet and modern technology. Jane is sent to a music-loving New Age home, but is too dejected over her losses to participate in their activities. Tim, meanwhile, repeatedly runs away from his well-meaning foster families and is eventually placed in a cell at Orphan Services headquarters after witnessing the Willoughby house's sale and demolition during his final attempt. Linda, after the cat intervenes as she leaves the city on a bus by bringing Tim's helmet to her, is encouraged to go back for the children. She disguises herself as a janitor named Phil to sneak into Orphan Services headquarters to retrieve Tim, who initially refuses her help out of guilt over having driven her away and broken his family up in the process. Linda, however, manages to snap him out of his depression with some tough love, telling Tim that his siblings need him and returning his helmet. They break out of the headquarters and reunite with the Willoughby siblings, and Tim reconciles with Jane. However, everyone soon realizes that the only way the Willoughbys can get Orphan Services off their backs is if they have their parents. With the help of Linda, Ruth, and Melanoff, the Willoughbys create a dirigible, I think that's the word, to rescue them from the unclimbable Alps in their final destination, Switzerland. The siblings decide to use the dirigible too early, leaving Nanny, Ruth, and Melanoff. As they reach their destination, they follow a trail of their mother's yarn to the top of the mountain, where they find their parents nearly frozen to death. The siblings and the cat save them, confessing that they sent them away but hoping to reunite as a family. The siblings plead with their parents to come back home so they can continue to be a family. At first, the parents seem to realize their cruelty and neglectful ways and ask each other if they really should change and begin to take care of their children. However, the parents then reveal that they are still just as exceedingly selfish and steal the dirigible, abandoning the children again. But the parents do not know how to steer the dirigible, and they drive it into the lower peak of the mountain, which results in it popping and eventually crashing into the ocean. With no way to get down, the Willoughby children start to freeze to death on top of the unclimbable Alps. The siblings prepare to succumb to the cold as Jane sings for them. Thankfully, Ruth, Melanoff, and Nanny find them before they freeze to death, having followed the dirigible. Now officially orphans, the Willoughbys are adopted by Linda and Melanoff, living much happier lives in Melanoff's candy factory with them, Ruth, and the cat. Meanwhile, Mr. and Mrs. Willoughby are shown to have survived the dirigible crash and are floating at sea. However, they are then devoured by a shark.
Nice.
I told you it was a long one.
You were
Well, a
absolutely
lot
correct.
happened.
True.
Yeah. All right. So starting off with our story category, we ended up giving this collectively an 85.3, and that is only because of Rose.
I'm sorry. Like, kudos to you guys for loving this movie as much as you did. I didn't. I'm sorry.
Like, why?
Yeah. So just for context for everyone, I gave it a little bit less than Beth. I gave it a 91. Beth gave it a 95. And dear old Rose gave it a 70.
Hey, it wasn't in the 60s, okay? And I was going to go there.
Dude, what?
I don't know what it was. I just did not like this movie. I liked the orphan approach. That was interesting that the kids wanted to go that route, that they hated their parents that much, and understandable. The parents were assholes. But I don't know, just the whole background of how Willoughby's, we need to reclaim what they used to be like. Just our the family isn't the way that it used to be. I don't know, just I've seen better animated films than this, and this just wasn't my favorite.
What was it about the story? Was that just it about the story that you didn't like?
It was that there were some things that I could see coming a mile away, the whole them thinking that the parents were going to turn good at the end, but then they decided to still be their same way. I saw that coming a mile away. I don't know about you guys. I knew there was no way that they were going to.
I mean, I was hoping.
I knew that I mean, in most animated films, yeah, they usually do a 180 or 360, whatever. But I just knew with these two characters, it's like once an asshole, always an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that they were both really bad parents, clearly, but I actually like them. Like I just like how they did the characters like so enamored with themselves, and I just thought they were like super douchey, I guess. And it made me feel even worse for the kids, but I also like how the mom's always like, I can't knit. And like like they're always like freaking out when the kids are even talking to them. Like they're like, what is this kid doing around? Like, how does this keep happening? So I don't know. Like I hate the parents, but I also thought that characters were entertaining.
I absolutely agree. I think the approach of these kids wanting to, like, I feel like this movie was fun, and I think you could show it to. What I appreciate about this is that it is a children's movie that has some very dark themes that would make sense or be more interesting for adults. And I think that's what intrigued me so much about it, with these children that are trying, like, if you think about it, these children are trying to murder their parents.
Right.
I mean, yes, their parents are awful.
Yeah.
And they are just the worst human beings on the planet, but it was just so funny thinking about like what they were doing with this. And
well, even when they're on their trip, they're like screwing people over constantly. Like the travel guides are getting killed. Like the train gets enveloped in like an avalanche because they won't get out of the way because they're just like talking to each other.
Oh, exactly. And I just think like the flow of the movie worked super well. Like I think with the second watch, it might have taken a little bit of a dive for me, just because I don't think it was. I think there were definitely some slow areas, but not slow enough to deserve a freaking 70.
Hey, Caleb, there's a lot of movies that I like that you hate, so don't get at me, bro.
This is interesting because there aren't very many movies where we disagree like this.
That's very true. That's very true.
But I thought it was a
same page.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just saying we're usually on the same page.
Yeah. But I thought it was a good story overall because it's like heartwarming for the kids, like not trusting any adults because they've only been exposed to those jerks, and then having to like be their own little family and then accept another adult that they're not sure that they can trust. So I thought that was heartwarming.
I will give the movie this, and this is the moment that sticks out to me the most, is the fact that when they actually do become orphans, and it is said by the big honcho of the orphan society, and just like watching them all get dragged away and separated, I'll admit that scene hit pretty hard. That was very well handled, and I had no problems there.
Yeah,
that was very well done.
Yeah, I thought it was super well done. Like I thought they handled everything really well. I will say this, it does feel like they tried to put multiple stories into the one movie, but I think it ended up working out pretty well. Like I don't think it clashed too much, because like the first I feel like book you could have said was when they found the baby, and then when they go and deliver the baby to the what's his name,
Melanoff.
Yeah, when they go deliver to Melanoff, and then they come back, and then they're trying to get rid of their parents. Like that could have been like its own story, and then like once they like go away, and then the nanny coming, like that felt like it could have been its own story. It just felt like a bunch of little stories all kind of crammed into one movie, but it didn't feel just so overpowered. Or not
right, and they
overpowered.
seemed like they completed the threads. They weren't like incomplete stories that they were just compacting.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I really enjoyed about it. And it was funny where it needed to be funny, heartwarming where it needed to be heartwarming.
Right. Like one part of the movie, like when right before they find out that Tim called the bad nannies or to report a bad nanny, he finally like starts to trust the nanny and like throws his arms wide open and like falls into her arm. Like I freaking got super teary-eyed by that. I'm like, oh, you trust her.
Yeah, like that. Oh my God, like that stuff. It worked out so well, and then you realize what he's done too.
Right.
Like we knew that he did that, but just the fact that we got reminded of it, and then like when she replayed that voice message, just like, I am here to report a bad nanny, and you're just like,
right.
Oh my gosh, like you knew it was coming from like
right.
you said, you knew it was coming, but it still hits you because you're just like, no, he's had so much growth.
Right. And then when you find out that the nanny was an orphan that didn't get adopted, and then they're like still like rubbing it in, like, no one wanted you, and now you're a bad nanny.
Yeah, that was so sad.
Yeah.
How did you not like this, Rose?
I'm sorry.
So
No, Caleb, when I love a movie next time and you hate it, I'm just gonna give you this much shit too.
No, I mean I get where you're coming from. I don't agree with you at all, but I guess I can see.
Caleb, you don't have to lie to yourself. You don't see where I'm coming from. Let's face it.
Yeah. So like I said, stories coming in at an 85.3. Moving on over to writing, we were at an 86.
Rose.
Yeah, so Rose was still at a 70. Again,
I'm sorry. I liked the writing just as much as I liked the story. The writing for the twins. Oh my! I don't think it was the voicing. It was just the writing. I found annoying as hell. I'm sorry,
dude. What?
I love the twins.
I'll admit the whole that they're both named Barnaby. That was pretty funny. And how the
Right.
nanny's just like, okay, I'm gonna call one of you Barnaby A and one of you Barnaby B. Isn't that how she?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was funny, but just the writing for them just was not on point for me. I don't know what it was.
Well, and that's another example of how terrible their parents are. They didn't even give them two names.
That's true.
And they have one sweater that they share.
That was so sad.
Yeah. But I mean, they were kind of funny with it.
I loved the writing on this. I freaking loved the opening scene with Tim, where you hear the father and mother like just messing around, and then you hear like, and then like, ew, what is that?
Yeah.
I think it's a baby. And then they like come and throw him out in the hallway, and they're just like, that woman you so rudely interrupted with your
right.
with your obnoxious birth. That is mother. And it's like, I recommend you find, or if you require love, I recommend you find it elsewhere.
Yeah, that's so bad.
I know. Like, I freaking loved that. Like, just those, like, super dark jokes. Like, oh, when freaking Tim threw the oats at the nanny, and she's just like, I'm going to have to, like, there's going to be a punishment for that. And he, like, she's just like, I was just gonna put you in a timeout when she's like looking down in the freaking coal bin.
Right, yeah.
Oh my gosh, freaking love that. I really enjoyed the writing for the twins. I thought that was the way that they would just talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was super well done.
Well, and I like the narration as well. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, like, out of all the kids, the writing for the daughter, what was her name? Jane. I thought hers was actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Hers was really well done.
Like, do you think they should have kept the baby's name as Taffeta?
I would have liked that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a candy company, so Baby Ruth, but
Oh, I loved how they like justified that too. Like, because he's just like, we are being ruthless.
yeah.
Like, it's just like those little details in the writing, like just things that if you weren't paying attention, you would just miss altogether.
Right. And like there's a scene like when the parents are in the Alps and they're like trying to follow the strings where they have the mother's like tardigrade and it's like, I can't knit. Like
I freaking loved how all of her yarn came from the father's like
hair,
stringy little mustache.
Well, yeah, and that at one point where he's like not growing any, and she's like, "That's the deal. You give me all the yarn I can get, and I knit."
Oh my gosh! Like the father and mother were just so good. The stuff that came out of their mouths was just like so out there.
Yeah. Well, and that like weird throat noise that he would like make or whatever when he's like
the purring.
You're right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I freaking loved it so much.
Did either of you find it weird that they would call each other mommy and daddy? Is that what it was? Or was it
it was father and mother.
Father and mother. Okay, never mind. Or, I mean,
Still
did you guys
weird.
think that was weird. Okay.
I think it. Yeah, I think that might have been a little. Yeah, I think that was a little weird, mainly because they didn't like being parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, I guess it worked out.
But I think that's weird in general. Like, why would you think your partner is your parents? I guess I don't, not into it.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like one thing that I kind of caught really quick, the pictures of like the past Barnabys and all the like the family members, all of the like everyone looked the same. Like all the characters looked the same. Like the father looked basically the same. Maybe it was like different facial hair or whatever, but it was always like a big mustache. The mother always looked the same. And then all the little boys looked like Tim. All the little girls looked like Jane. And then the twins looked like a mixture of the both of them. Like,
Right.
kind of like they were trying to do like a gender neutral.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where it's kind of like the Barnabys had like the really long, like kind of a longer hair, but it was kind of in the style that Tim's hair was in. Like if it was just like a little bit longer. Like I really liked that, trying to make a weird well, not weird, and make it ambiguous as to their their gender.
Yeah.
Like I just thought like little details like that were really well done. And Ricky Gervais voicing or doing the narration, like that stuff was awesome.
I agree. Yeah. Because like he did some misdirecting sometimes with the story when he was telling it, and then like sometimes he was like funny, like clever.
Never
Yeah.
they did that thing with how oh, this story is not like what you think it's going to be. It's going in a different direction. I got a lot of series of unfortunate events vibes.
Ooh, a little bit, yeah.
But are you a fan of that?
I am. So it's kind of weird.
Then
that
what the
I
hell?
I don't. Maybe it's just because Jim Carrey, man. I'm sorry.
Did you watch the new one that was on Netflix with Neil Patrick Harris?
I didn't actually. I've heard it's good though.
It's really good.
It is super
I
good.
really need to sit
Yeah.
down and watch it because I love the original movie.
Yeah.
Definitely have to sit down and watch that one. Is it a series or a movie?
A series.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's really. I don't think I've finished the second season yet. At least I don't think I have. I might have, but yeah, they have 2 seasons, and each. So all of the. So the one with Jim Carrey is kind of like, so each of the houses that they get placed in is in the Netflix series is 2 episodes.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so it's like they get placed in the first home, or then the next episode they leave that place. Next episode they begin a place, and then like end. It's really cool, like how they do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's pretty funny too. Like the henchmen I think are pretty hilarious.
Yeah, and honestly, I like Neil Patrick Harris's performance way better than I like Jim Carrey's.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I really like Jim Carrey's performance, so that's saying a lot.
Like I haven't seen the one with Jim Carrey in a long time, but I mean, like with characters like that, it's really hard to beat him because he's so animated. But I would agree. I think Neil Patrick Harris too.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back into the Willoughbys.
Hey, that wasn't off tangent as much as we've been on other parts of this episode.
That is very true. Yeah, getting into the writing, we ended up giving an 86. Getting into the acting is sitting at 88. So the main ones that I did the voice of Tim, who was played by Will Forte. Jane, who is voiced by Alessia Cara. Then Barnaby, both the Barnabys, voiced by Sean Cullen. I did the nanny, who was voiced by Maya Rudolph, and then father and mother, who were voiced by Martin Short and Jane Krakowski.
I didn't even know that was Martin Short. I was wondering who he voiced.
He summoned his inner Jack Frost for this one.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
But I freaking love Martin Short. Like, he's so good.
He's an incredible actor.
Well, I think too, like just with even those like weird throat purrings, like nailed it.
Oh my gosh, so good. Like it's stuff like that. Like makes me wonder what order they go in with these movies. Like, do they record all of the stuff first and then animate over the audio? Because they'd have to for stuff like that, right?
Right, to make it like match up. I don't know.
Something interesting to think about. All right. Top 3 for you guys. Like, who do you think did the best?
Like the best voice acting?
Yeah.
Like Jane. I'm gonna say Martin Short. And I don't know. because I really like Jane Krakowski, the mom. Because sometimes, like, I loved him, but sometimes I thought his voice was annoying.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with those three.
That's a good top 3. Rose?
Number 1, I would give to Martin Short. 2, 2, Ricky Gervais, and then 3.
Oh, I forgot about him.
That's a good one. This is an interesting one because, like, I have a much different top 3 than you guys. Because number 1 for me, I loved the Barnabys.
Yes.
Like, I thought they were so much fun. Like, I loved when they talked to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like
repeating things.
Yeah. Or just like, Barnaby, I'm cold. Oh, here you go, Barnaby. It's like, I don't know what I found so amusing about that, but anytime they were talking to each other, I laughed my ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 2, I think I'm going to give to Jane. And I think I'm going to give it to Jane mainly because of her singing. I freaking loved her little tune that she sang. And then the last one, this is tough. It's honestly a tie between the nanny and Tim. I think I'm going to give it to the nanny, though. Freaking love Maya Rudolph.
Yeah.
Like, she is such a talented voice actress.
It's true.
Like, I'm not sure if you guys have seen Big Mouth, but she does the voice for the hormone monstress in that. And she is almost unrecognizable.
Really? Like, we've seen a couple of episodes, but we don't, like, watch it regularly.
Yeah, it only has a couple seasons, but yeah, her character, it's so good. And that's why I enjoyed her in this. Like, her voice was just like she did a really good way at just portraying wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
And like loving. Like, even when she was like upset, she didn't like overplay the anger. Like, I feel like she could have, because she does like angry a lot.
Yeah.
Like in other roles that I've seen her in. So she's always kind of gone a little over the top for me. And in this, she didn't. Like, even when she was like upset, it still sounded very loving and kind.
Right. Yeah, I'll agree with that. And like, she was like, as for the children, I'll take care of them.
That was one of my favorite bits. The way that Tim's just like, I'll take care of them. And Jane and Barnaby are like, I don't want to be taken care of. And then when she reads it off, they're just like, oh, that sounds way better. I definitely want to be taken care of. Oh my gosh, dude, how did you not like this movie?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I freaking loved that. Like, that was one of my favorite gags in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Beth, you ended up giving 100 to the acting.
I don't know. Like, I thought they did really awesome. I scored everything super high because I love this movie.
Yeah, well, we had to make up for Rose, so I feel like that's absolutely fine.
All right.
Yeah, Rose hit us with a 75, so he did like the acting a little bit better than the story and writing. Yeah, and then I went with it with an 89 for the acting. Okay. The only people that I feel brought it down for me were a lot of the extras.
Like, I wasn't a big fan of Terry Crews's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His voice just didn't quite match with
the character.
Yeah, with Melanoff. Like, I think they should have. I don't know. They could have gone with someone else. Like, I was thinking, like Keith David would have been a really good voice.
Who is that?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Do you watch Rick and Morty?
Yes.
He's voices the president.
Oh, okay. I know who that is.
Yeah, and then Rose, do you know who Keith David is?
I'm just trying to see what else he's been in.
He was in Requiem for a Dream. Have you guys ever seen that?
I have not.
It's pretty dark.
He looks really familiar, but I just don't know what I've seen him in.
You would. I'm pretty sure you would recognize his voice. He's also done. This is a really old Disney show, but did you ever watch Gargoyles?
Oh.
Not frequently.
He was like the main voice in Gargoyles.
See, I don't even think I would remember that. I was trying to find something on IMDb. Damn, he's been in a lot.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, but his voice is what I was expecting to come out of Melanoff. I think Terry Crews was just like a little too animated in his voice acting.
Right.
So yeah, like he unfortunately brought it down a little bit for me. And then, like I said, everyone else, all the other extras just kind of kept pulling. But the main cast, I think they did an excellent job.
Yeah. If I had thought of Terry Crews, I probably would not have given him 100. I thought he was pretty funny. Like the funniest was whenever he was in White Chicks. Have you guys seen that?
Yes.
Yeah.
His funniest roles have been in that and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
9-9, yeah. And like at the end, whenever he finds out it's a man dressed up like a woman and he doesn't even care, he's like, "You're not white."
Deception.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think the cast did really, really well on this. And yeah, so acting ended up scoring an 88. Moving on over to character development. This is kind of where me and Rose started agreeing a little bit more.
Okay.
So Beth, you ended up giving it a 95, and then Rose and I gave it an 80.
Okay.
Wow, we actually agreed on one.
Yeah, so it ended up averaging out at an 85. But I feel the reason I gave it, because that was, I think, the lowest I gave. Yeah, the lowest I gave this movie was this category, and I think it was just because the kids always seemed to maintain their consistency of who they were.
Yeah.
I think it would have been nice to see them flourish a bit more rather than just at the end where it's just like assumed that they're happy. I would have just liked to see a little bit more.
I mean, I think what you can maybe give for that is they've known their whole life is just shit. It's been just, shitty parents, got no food, nothing. So literally anything above that is good to them. Like, they're going to be happy nonetheless.
Right. I feel like Tim's character did make a lot of progress because of those parents. Like, he didn't trust any adults. And then once he started trusting Nanny, it was too late because he ratted her out for being a bad nanny. But then she comes to rescue him. So again, his faith in adults and like trusting is like redeemed because she came for him. So I thought there was some development there.
That's true. Yeah, and thinking about it a bit more, like the kids were really focused on trying to get the perfect family.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted, like, the reason that they were, the whole, like, make themselves orphans plan came about was because they were almost jealous of Ruth and that she got to stay in this candy warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
So I at least that's what I got. Like, there was a little bit of maybe jealousy there that they couldn't stay there themselves because they had parents. And they were just so focused on getting what their idea of like a perfect family is.
Right.
And I think the way that they worked through it and eventually got to a point at the end, like even though they were freezing on the Alps, that they didn't need the perfect family because they had each other.
Yeah. Well, and the nanny too, like with that same scene with Tim ratting her out, like she's completely crushed by that and then reminded that she wasn't wanted. But then again, like she decides to build their family by rescuing him. And then I think she realizes that she is good enough to have a family because she's created her own.
Yeah. Ooh. I might have talked myself up. Maybe. I think I'll just leave it where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah, any other notes you guys had on character development?
Well, I mean, I think it's funny what Rose has already noted about how the parents looked like they had developed a character or like love for the children because they rescued them and then they like stab them in the back again and steal their only way out of the Alps.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like I knew that scene was coming. Like I knew that they hadn't changed at all. I'm like, okay, we haven't seen them go through anything to justify this change. And so it made sense that they stole their flying device.
dirigible.
Dirigible, yeah. So it made sense that they stole that and like tried to like leave them. And it just like left it open for that like heartwarming moment. I love how they reacted to when the friggin' thing exploded. And they're like, oh.
Right, they're like breaking it and they don't know how to drive it.
Yeah, and then the kids are just sitting there like, oh, there's no way they could have survived that, right?
I also thought it was funny. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I thought it was funny that they were alive underneath the snow with their like lips together. They were still kissing. And that's how they were like warm enough to stay alive until they got rescued.
Yeah. Oh, so good. So good. So yeah, character development sitting at an 85. Moving on over to effects, we are sitting at an 86.6. So this is one that you're going to have to justify to me, Rose, because me and Beth were both at a 95. You were the asshole at 70. You are a sucker for good animation. What the hell?
This isn't good animation to me.
What?
I don't like these character designs. I'm sorry.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What didn't you like about it?
I thought some of the characters were like way too skinny. I know that that's what they were going for, but like they were just like their proportions were just off for me. The hair, it seemed like in points was like it was kind of like freaking Clone Wars over here that the hair didn't move with movements.
Okay. Well, it was made out of yarn.
Yeah.
Pitch for it. Okay. She's got me there. Okay, she's got me there. I don't know. Just like I know, like many would say, well, you know, it's not Pixar, and we all know that you're a Pixar whore. But there's plenty of other animation studios that I love that some people don't like. Like I know Caleb is not a big fan of stop motion animation, like Coraline and that kind of stuff. But I love that kind of shit. Like that animation, I would give 100 all day, every day. But
Wasn't this stop motion?
No, it was
this is
animated, but they reduced the frame rate to make it look like it was stop motion.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like what they did with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. They did that exact same thing where they kind of gave it that stop motion look
Style.
by just reducing the frame rate.
Okay.
Which we've talked about, like we've discussed this. I feel like didn't you like the freaking Nightmare, the Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, like their characters were skinny.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of just depends on how the movie is laid out for me. I don't know. For that world, it worked. Just because it's Halloween Town. They're kind of supposed to look a little different. But I don't know. Just this animation, I did not love.
Jeez, that surprised the hell out of me because I felt like the character designs were very Burton-esque.
Yeah, see, I'm sorry. I gotta disagree with you on that one.
Like I thought the father especially, like he looked very, like the mother and father looked very like Burton-esque. Like obviously not like exactly because Tim Burton goes for a very creepy look. Like it's almost like someone went for like the Tim Burton body model with like just a lighter feel about it, like a happier tone, instead of going for like creepy.
Like, not to go off on another tangent or like side trip, but did you guys see Frankenweenie?
I love that movie.
Yes.
So much.
Like, did you see like on Disney Plus they had the original like old version of it from like when it was like in black and white, and they made it like a real movie,
like live action.
Yeah. So like the first one was live action, and then the new one was stop motion. And I know like Tim Burton wanted to get the stop motion one made for like a long time. That was kind of like his baby.
Yeah. Like randomly we watched it with our nephews, the original one. Yeah. It was kind of interesting, but anyway.
Did it hold up?
I thought so. I mean, for the time period, like.
When did that one get released? Was like early 90s or?
It seems like maybe the 80s or. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Okay.
Looks like 1984.
Oh, geez. So that is a really early Tim Burton work.
Yep, yeah, 1984.
Damn. Yeah. Jeez, like it just goes to show how much I know about you, man. Like I thought you were going to dig this movie.
Sorry, man. There's a lot of things you don't know about me, Caleb. Apparently.
Yeah, it seems like it. So yeah, anything else about the effects? Because I think we've both expressed like I personally enjoyed the animation a lot out of this, and typically which is weird because like with how the characters looked, like I'm not a big fan of like the Tim Burton style, and with me thinking that that's how they looked, surprised the hell out of me that I enjoyed the animation as much as I did.
Yeah, I mean, I like that everything was made out of yarn, even when they had like smoke clouds. It was like, it looked like felt or like frizzed yarn or something. So yeah. I really liked that. And even when they like grew their mustaches at the end, like how it was like little strings of yarn coming down.
Dude, I love how the Barnabys and Jane all had like thick mustaches. And then Tim just had like the little scraggles of hair. freaking love it. Oh. Yeah, so effects, like I said, was sitting at an 86.6. Moving on over to music. Rose, you're going to have to explain yourself again. So me and Beth both gave it a 10.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, which,
Okay.
oh my gosh, like I freaking love the music in this. Like, especially, like, the final song that Jane sings, like, oh my gosh, like, how does that not, like, just melt your heart?
I'm sorry it didn't. Apparently I have a very cold heart. I'm not saying it was a bad song. It was a good song. I mean, what did I give it again?
A 6.
Okay. Okay, that is one that I will bump up if you'll let me.
I'll allow it.
Okay, I'll bump it up to an 8.
Okay.
All right,
Like,
so
I
that
was
brings
reading
us up to a
some-
9.
All right. I was reading some trivia about the movie earlier today, and they were saying Alessia Cara, the voice of Jane, when she was on some TV show, I think it was like, who was it? Jimmy Fallon. Like, she was saying that was her dream to be in an animated movie, and the producers for this movie saw that and like asked her to come and try out for Jane. And then whenever she sang the song from the like first scene where she's singing, she was sick and her voice was like kind of scratchy, and she was like really worried that they weren't gonna accept her audition, but then they ended up using that as the final song in the movie because they thought that it was like when she's looking out the window, it's like cold, and they thought that she probably would be like kind of scratchy and nasally if she was really there singing, so they went with it.
Oh, that is so cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I love, like, I usually don't go up to a 10, but the times that I do, I've always said that there's a song that gets stuck in my head, and this song that she sings got stuck in my head like crazy. Like, oh, I freaking loved it. Like, I freaking caught myself like humming it at work.
Were you looking out a window?
Unfortunately, my work does not have windows.
Damn.
But yeah, like, that's just how much I loved that tune. Like, it was such a good, and I know that they like repeated it throughout, like that little tune, because she was singing it on the bus. She was singing it like looking out on out of the house, and just like it was a tune that she sang throughout, but
Right.
she never like repeated herself, which I appreciated a lot.
Yeah, and it's the song like at the end. Like, that's how they find them, because they hear her song.
Yeah, and it was just like so beautifully done. Like, so good, and just knowing like that's actually what sold me on watching this. Like, I was going through Netflix, I was trying to find something to watch because Iris was eating dinner, and I was like, I don't want to watch freaking Cocomelon anymore. Like, we're watching something else. And so I was scrolling through and like all these other animated movies trying to find something I hadn't seen before that had like bright colors and looked fun. And then I came across the Willoughbys, played the trailer, and it was just Jane singing that song looking out the window that sold me on the movie. I was just like, that is a catchy song. Like, click, let's watch it.
Yep.
Oh, and I just like instantly fell in love with the movie. Like, as soon as they brought Tim out, it was just like the whole like, we suggest you find your love elsewhere. Like to a baby. It like I just loved how absurd that was.
Right. Yeah. Well, and like with Ricky Gervais, like I liked how he opened it too.
Yeah.
With the narration.
So well done. So that brings, or with Rose bumping his up to an 8, that brings our music up to a 9.
All right.
Yeah, moving on over to costumes. This one we were a little bit closer. We are also at a 9 with this one.
Okay.
The only one that disagreed was Rose, but
Shocker.
since we round whichever direction, we usually round down, but since this one's closer to 9, we'll bump it up to a 9. Yeah, I think the Willoughbys have a very distinct look about them. I feel like you could tell these characters from their silhouette, which is something that I never really considered until watching the the gallery something for The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. I forget who it was. Kathleen Kennedy, I think. She was saying that what makes a good character is if you can recognize them by their silhouette. And so that's kind of what I've been going off of. I can recognize these characters off their silhouette. And
Yeah.
I just thought they were really well modeled. Like I said,
I
very
agree
Tim
with that.
Burton-esque.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I have much to add to that. When I was making notes or whatever, I noted the Barnaby sweater. Um,
That sweater
and then-
was so fun.
yes, I love that. And then also, I guess whenever the nanny, literal costumes, whenever the nanny dressed up and scared the people out of the house.
Yeah, the perfect family.
Right, nothing scared them away. They're like, "Oh, yay!"
I loved the perfect family. The way that the spring that was shooting people out of the house, it was just overloaded, and so it sprung them up to the next floor. Ooh.
Or whenever they grabbed the door handle that was electrified, they're they all got the jolt, and they're like, "Oh."
I feel a spark with this house.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, just the most absurd stuff, and it was just so funny. But yeah, I think all the characters were designed really well, and I mean, Rose, it doesn't seem like you disagreed.
No, I mean, when they're going through all of how the Willoughbys have looked, or sorry, Willoughbys have looked throughout the ages.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about that, that's what really boosted up my score, because I'll give them creative points for how each differed drastically from one another, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, and it was all in the facial hair too, which was insane.
Or also I don't know what they're called, but the people that came out to pick up the kids after the report was made, how they're all uniformed and they look like robots.
Yeah, almost like Agent Smith from
The Matrix.
Yeah. Yeah, I really dug that. I really liked the the scene where Nanny and Tim are escaping and she's going through the gate and it's just scraping really slowly while everyone's chasing her, and then there's that buildup of cars, and then you see that one that's just kind of backing out and pulls forward and just I feel like I'd be that asshole. Dude, I straight up had a moment like that when I was driving the dumpster truck. I was driving down this main street trying to get to a job, but there was an accident and someone had flipped their truck, and so I had to take the long way around to get around the accident because that's how the police were
Like diverting people.
Yeah, how they were diverting people. And so I went to my parents that weekend and was just bitching about it, just like, yeah, some jackass like tipped his car or his truck, and my brother's buddy was there, and he's like, yeah, that was my uncle.
Oh.
And I was just like, well, tell your uncle he really picked a shitty day to flip his truck. Like, I feel like that's just like one step away from being like the like, get out of the road.
Well, nobody ever cares if the person's okay, Rose. They're like, is my day hindered?
True, you got a point there.
I think what's the most annoying is when it happens like on our like interstates here, we have like one going this way and then there's grass and then one going the opposite way. And like it's always a wreck on the other side, but people are like stopped on this side looking at it. I'm like, I got to get to work.
Yeah, that is one thing about this side of the country. Like, everyone stops to look at. I mean, people, like, it happens everywhere, but I feel like it's especially bad here, especially like because in Utah we have like 4 or 5 lanes of traffic on the freeway.
Yeah,
and we have like the one highway going through the state, and here we have like all these different highways, and they're like.
Like, do you live near Atlanta?
I live in Savannah.
Okay. Because like like driving through there, like having like 6 or 8 lanes, I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, and you have to hurry up and get over really fast. And like, I don't like this one bit. Or like looking at like maps or like pictures of like California where they have those highways that are like 8 lanes wide. And you're like, oh my God.
That is just such a cultural difference because, like, that does not intimidate me in the slightest.
Really?
Yeah, like I prefer that because I'm like, okay, at least I have I can move through traffic if I like have to. Here, it's just like, okay, if this lane's screwed up and that lane's screwed up,
I'm done.
I'm screwed. Like, it sucks because, like, there was this one car that wouldn't let me pass, and I completely missed my exit to work. I'm like, you jackass! Like, in Utah, like, or anywhere else, I feel like I could have, like, slowed down, got around him. Like, no, like, you can't do that here.
Like, the thing that makes me super angry is whenever you're, like, getting on the interstate in one of those, like, merge lanes where you're supposed to be getting up to speed to get on, and then some jackass is like driving right beside you, like, so your lane is ending but you can't get on because they're right beside you.
I just have to go full Eye of the Tiger on that one, be like, my car's a piece of shit, like, this is we'll see how you play this game.
Yeah, I mean, I play that too, but sometimes like you're like, what are you doing?
Just get to that point. I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you.
Yeah.
If you hit my car, it's your fault.
Well, get out of there. And usually there's no one in the middle lane, or like they could have sped up or gone faster, but they're right beside you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like it. But anyway.
Yeah.
Traffic.
Yeah. Getting back to costumes, unless any of you have anything else to say about it. No?
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah. So, costumes is sitting at an 8.6. Or not 8.6. We round up now. So, costumes is sitting at 9. And then onto our final grade, our personal scores. We are sitting at an 87. So me and Beth tied, or we're the same, sitting at a 95. And then Rose hits us with a 71.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm really not. I am though a little bit. I feel bad that because you guys love this movie so much, and I brought the score down because I didn't. I do feel bad.
Well,
I mean, if you didn't like it.
Yeah.
But like, if I wasn't on this episode, like hell, the scores would be like close to 100.
Pretty
I feel
damn
bad for
close.
that.
Like
Well,
the
it's my
scores would have
bad.
been drastically different. But
I should have showed up last week. Sorry, Caleb.
It's fine. Like I think it makes it.
Oh no.
It makes the scores a little bit more not
Realistic.
as biased. Yeah. when there's one of us that didn't like it. So, I mean, it ended up working out. Like, so the personal grade averaging all of us out is sitting at an 87, like I said. So
That's still pretty good.
Yeah. Anyone want to like final thoughts on the movie? Beth?
Oh, me first. Okay. I just thought it was really cute, and I love the music. I love the story. I love all the intricate details, like the tardigrade. Yeah, I just thought it was an overall like heartwarming story, and I think everyone should watch it.
Absolutely. We'll leave on the more realistic note, so I'll go next. Yeah, I thought this movie was also really well done, super fun. I think there's something for everyone in movies like this. Like there are some darker themes that adults can pull from this, but they're not so dark that a child couldn't watch it. Because like I said, I watched this with a toddler, and she just loved like the bright colors and the songs and everything.
I watched it with my nephews, and they wanted to watch it again. So, and they're like, when we watched it, they were like 9 and 13.
That's awesome.
Maybe I should have watched it with a kid. Maybe that was my
Yeah, maybe that. Well, I watched it without a kid first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched it the second time without a kid. Actually, I watched it with my wife the second time. She thought it was really cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good, wholesome movie. Definitely worth checking out. It is kind of a hidden gem of Netflix. Like, not one that got a whole lot of publicity, but like it's a good one. It's a really good one.
I agree.
All right, Rose.
So I didn't hate this movie. Just it wasn't. Just wasn't fully for me. Like, had some problems, but overall, it's not that bad of a animated film. I did enjoy some parts. And honestly, I think anyone who does check it out, you're probably gonna like it more than me. Maybe I'm just the asshole here that didn't like it. So I do think it is worth a watch.
Nice. Well, with that concludes this breakdown. So the final All Bros and Untrained Eye letter grade for the Willoughbys has come to a B+.
Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent B+. It's sitting at an 87.25%. So with our B+ movies, we have 35.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, and this ranked 29. Nope, 25. I'm blind.
Hey, join the club.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that, so that actually puts it up. So, yeah, everything I'm about to list off is a B+ movie. So that puts it above Psycho, which was sitting at an 87.1. It is above Halloween from 78, sitting at an 87.0.
Nope.
Yeah, an 87.06. It is above Nobody, which is at a flat 87. It is also above In the Heights, which was at an 86.8. And then it was also above Frozen 2, which was at an 86.5.
I thought we gave that movie higher.
Thought we gave Frozen 2 higher?
Yeah.
I didn't see Frozen 2 yet. Like, we started to watch it, but then we didn't finish it. Like, was it as good as the first one?
I actually liked it better.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was alright. Like, it didn't have, like, as memorable of songs, but it was good.
I
Good
would
story.
Disagree. I'm sorry, kid. I have to disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Show Yourself. That's just as good as Let It Go, if not better, for me.
Well, okay, it's good. I'll definitely say it's better than Let It Go, but it's not as catchy.
I think it is.
I don't remember us
Alright.
fighting over that movie.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I'll have to listen. Yeah, I'll have to listen to the review and see if we actually did throw some hands on that.
Yeah. Oh, and just for shits and giggles, because the movie below Frozen 2 is actually one that we all did together. The Lovebirds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's also above the Lovebirds, which was at an 86.54.
That was a good movie, too. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah. And then let's see. So, going the other direction, the Willoughbys is below Detective Pikachu, which was at an 87.3.
That was cute.
Or an 87.31, sorry. It is below Freaky, which was at an 87.37.
I loved Freaky. Like, in my opinion, Vince Vaughn can do no wrong.
He can't. He
Yeah,
did such a good job. Let's see. It is also below How to Train Your Dragon, which was at an 87.5. It is also below Parasite, which was at an 87.59. And then it was also below Raya and the Last Dragon, which was at an 87.8. Like, these margins are freaking tight between our movies, our B+ movies. Like, it's insane how close these are. Like, the difference between, like, Raya and the Last Dragon and the Willoughbys is seriously 0.6%. Like, that is, like, it's not even a full percentage difference. Like, hell, The Prom isn't even a full percentage above the Willoughbys.
Wait, it is or isn't?
No, it isn't. So, the difference between the Prom and the Willoughbys is 0.9%.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's, like, super tight margins. And we have a shit ton of B+ movies. But yeah. So that's where the Willoughbys is sitting. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a pretty decent home.
I think so. For some
Well, I don't know how I
orphans.
feel about the movie, but-
For some orphans.
All right. So, if you like what you heard on this episode, want to follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Even though we moved to Podbean, we are damn near everywhere once again. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, RadioPublic, Radio.com, Spotify, and more. You can also catch all of our episodes on YouTube. You can follow us on social media, where you can also DM us with any of your episode ideas if you want to answer our questions of the week, or if you would like to join us. We would gladly like to have anyone on. Those are Facebook. For Facebook, it's facebook.com/The Allbros, Twitter and Instagram @The Allbros, or you can email us, theallbroschannel@gmail.com. And then if you want to check out our website, it is tinyurl.com/The Allbros, where we do have a link to our TeePublic store, and you can also make your own design for a custom t-shirt if you want to use a episode art that has been taken down by Disney, Warner Brothers, those dickheads.
Freaking assholes. I work hard on that
Caleb
shit.
Caleb would be happy to get that made for you. But if you don't want to access it through our website, our TeePublic site is tpublic.com/user/The Allbros channel. Beth, would you like to let everybody know where they can find you?
Sure. You can find our podcast, The Untrained Eye, at Untrained iPod. That's EYEPOD. And that's on all social media. Or you can follow me directly, and I'm at The Queen for Real.
Awesome. So yeah, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. I'm sorry I did not like this movie as much as you and Caleb. I apologize.
I think it's more fun when everyone doesn't agree.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, those are usually our better episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next week, apparently we will be having a special guest that I did not know of just until like 5 minutes before we started recording. But next week we'll be breaking down Shang-Chi, and is it the Legend of the Ten Rings or just the Ten Rings?
I think it's Legend of the Ten Rings.
So we'll be breaking down Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings with special guest Vic from Crash and Taz's Movie Cellar. So, but until then, this has been the Allbros podcast with special guest Beth from the Untrained Eye, and we will see you guys next week. So long.
You're not going to do the Herbert voice, really?
I'm sorry, man. I'm not feeling it this week. I'm sorry.
All right. Deuces.